You're listening to Funny Peculiar with Jeff Downs.
So, welcome to another episode of the Funny Peculiar podcast. And this week, I have a very special guest, and it's Aunty Ginger, better known as Thomas Henderson-Griffiths. Hello.
Hello.
How are you doing? You all right?
All right, thank you. Thanks for having me.
That's all right. You're very welcome. Now, you're fresh from a victory.
I'm not that fresh.
Well, it is Sunday morning of Miss Drag UK 2019.
That's right.
So congratulations.
Thanks.
Also, not just that, and Miss Congeniality.
I know.
Which if you explain to everybody, so you won Miss Drag UK, which was where you tell us.
Yeah. So it was done at the Grand Bursting in Kent, and that was last weekend, but it depends on when that airs. So it was about the 10th of March, I think it was.
Okay.
So there was there were a number of prizes. So we had Miss Charity. So she that's someone known as Delicious who won that. We had Rose Zinfandel won Miss Publicity UK.
Rose Zinfandel.
I know.
That's very good. That's a good one.
Absolutely. Or Rose Zinfandel, I think is the right pronunciation. So she won Miss Publicity UK, and Miss D won Miss Charity. And then we had Miss Congeniality, which was me.
Yeah.
We had Best Dressed, which was Karma, and then the overall winner, which was me.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So a great, absolutely great event, and it's going to be an annual thing. It was organised by two people, Sonia Wilson and Sophia Mayers, who are well established in the sort of pageant community, if you like, and another chap called Blake, who was a brilliant producer and also came from the drag scene. And just a really fabulous event for combining both and sort of building bridges between the pageant world and the drag world in the UK, because there hasn't really been many competitions like that in the UK before.
And there's a few at the moment, because I think Drag Idol's quite big, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we've got, although it's a telly thing, we've got RuPaul that's now on
the Drag Race UK.
Drag Race UK, which is quite a big thing to happen, isn't it?
Absolutely.
And then we've got now this new one, Miss Drag UK. Well, it's been around for about 4 years, that one. Or is that
no, Miss Drag UK? This is the first year.
The first year, is it?
Yeah,
I'm
the first winner.
See, we're honoured today to have the stakes have just gone through the roof now. So it's like, so obviously you're the very first Miss Drag UK.
I know.
And how does that feel?
It's still surreal.
Yeah.
I had no idea it was going to happen at all. So I, sort of just rocked up and thought, I'll wear a few outfits and make a few contacts, and then to get crowned was just.
And you had 3 looks to do, so the whole evening, it's over like a couple of hour period, something like that.
Yeah, so it ran from like 7 o'clock at night till 11 or something like that.
And you've got 3 different looks, and then and you had and then I'll put all your contact details later, like Facebook and stuff. If people want to go and check out your
excellent
your looks,
get me on Instagram or
Instagram. So I'll list all the details. And so it was that, and so when it was announced, I think I've seen the video. You really weren't expecting.
No, really, it wasn't. It was quite funny. So when they announced the top 3, and at this point I'd already had Miss Congeniality, so I was delighted. I was like, I've made an effort with people, so I can kind of get that. That was cool. Thanks for that. And then they said, right, overall top 3: Aunty Ginger, someone else, and someone else. No, that's terrible. I shouldn't say that. Miss Bambi and Karma were top 3. But so they brought us up, and I was walking up. I was like, "Oh, third's okay." And I was like, "I'm happy with third." And then they said Karma was third, and I was like, "Oh, second. Now I can definitely make something of second." And when they announced me as winner, it didn't sink in for hours. But really, it's been very humbling, and everyone's been lovely. I think the organisers are just lovely people.
Yeah. And tell us your prizes, because I was quite impressed with.
Yeah, absolutely. Now see if I can try and remember who they were all from. I got.
Let's give a shout out to some of the companies.
Yeah. So I got bunch of makeup from Give Face Cosmetics. That was really, really impressive. I got some jewellery from Bling 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 UK, which is lovely. Can't wait to wear that. I've got some. I'm gonna have a crystallised jacket made by House of Lestrange, so that's quite exciting. I've got a wig coming my way from Cheyenne, and I'm just trying to remember her wig company name now. It's the Wig Mistress.
Mistress, that's
yeah,
it.
That's
right, okay,
it.
the Wig Mistress.
And I'm not sure if I'm going to pronounce this right. I've got a custom gown coming from Waylay Couture, so that's really, really exciting.
That's fantastic.
I think they're just panicking about whether or not they've got enough fabric for some on my size.
And what about the design of that? Do you get to design it, or they will design it?
They've been lovely, so I went to them with these are pictures of stuff I like, and then they've come back with a couple of suggestions with different fabrics. So that's really, really exciting. I've got some nail gloves coming my way as well, so that's really, really exciting. I think I'm gonna have to try and remember. Drag Nails UK.
And I've seen this with nail gloves.
Yeah.
And it is literally they are like evening gloves, but they're sort of tanned coloured, and
they're skin coloured.
Skin coloured rather.
So I think you have them to like your shade, or you can have them to your shade, or sometimes they crystallise. But it just means that you're not putting false nails on. And they're great for like big gowns and evening stuff.
Okay.
So they're by Drag Nails UK, and then I'm really, really excited by this. Mother of Drag Puppets are going to make a puppet of Aunty Ginger in a winner's crown. Yeah.
Oh, so there's a company called Mother of Drag Puppets, and they make your puppet, the drag queen version of you.
Exactly. So I sent some pictures yesterday.
Oh, right, okay.
And they're trying to like find one in the right fabric and make a little crown and stuff.
Oh, wow.
So that's really, really exciting. So I've had some incredible prizes. And you know what's been lovely beyond that has just been how lovely everyone's been. I had, some lovely messages from people. Everyone's been really supportive. People want to do it again for next year. And I think what would be exciting is, more young people, maybe some drag kings, maybe, people from all different sorts of backgrounds want to do it next year. Yeah, it gets more of a brand and a reputation.
And you, and also because I did a night with you. Because you do, and we'll talk about this later, but the Albert Kennedy Trust. Yeah. And that
can you believe that's only last month?
So that was again a night of a lot of drag queens for a very good charity. And you've done a lot of work with them for the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about them, but let's go back to before Aunty Ginger. Sort of like, well, how did she come about, and how did you dip your toe into drag? And what got you in it? What was the bug for you?
So I feel like I did like musician stuff as a cellist and piano player or pianist until my late teens.
So you're a cellist?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
What grade did you get?
Yeah, so I got up to diploma level.
Wow.
I was a decent, half decent cello player.
Right. Okay.
I was always better at the sort of theory than I was at the performing, but I was good.
And do you still play that?
Still play a bit. Yeah. I had a string quartet called Connect 4 for a while.
Right.
I still do a bit with Stockport Symphony Orchestra, who are fun. And I've played with some really decent orchestras in years gone by.
See, the only cellist I know is Julian Lloyd-Webber.
Yeah. Who's retired now.
Who's now retired. I don't know why. He seems to be the main...
I think it was something to do with, and I'm not entirely sure on my facts, but something to do with his hand.
Oh, right.
Yeah, I think he... I think it. I don't know whether it was like an arthritis thing. I'd have to Google that. But
his brother didn't stamp on it.
No,
and was like, "You're not playing again. I've had enough of you."
Not to my knowledge, Julian played in Andrew's shows quite a bit.
Yes,
so, yeah.
I bet he did. Oh right, so you're.
So that was the gig.
Yeah.
And
then
you're
a pianist as well.
Yeah, but I was not as good. But I can whack my way through lots of stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I thought, okay, well, that's what I'll do for a career. Then I sort of learned about boys and fast cars and money, and thought, maybe I'm not going to make enough money doing this. So I just got a job and thought, I'll come back to music. Well,
I've spoken to people that have worked in orchestras before, and it does tend to be quite vocational, a bit of a labour of love. Is it hard to make a living out of being a professional cellist?
There are people who do it. There are absolutely people who do it. I know people who do it and teach as well.
Right.
I know people who do it, but they get lots of session work.
Yeah.
And then I know people who are struggling.
Yeah.
So I think, yes, it's doable. I probably wasn't good enough to make it a comfortable living.
Right, okay.
So I thought, well, but I've always had that desire to do like a creative break.
Yeah.
So when I was sort of discovering I was gay and getting into clubs and stuff, I was I met a couple of drag queens who used to host this Sunday show.
Right.
One of which was called Linda Lush, and the other one was called Kitty, and it was done at the club in Stoke-on-Trent. And they were so hilarious.
Right.
They would sort of just almost insult comedy.
Yeah.
People who would come into the venue, I'm like, oh, I can smell her. Here she is.
Yeah.
And the comedy of it was just brilliant, and I thought, that was really cool. At the time, I was far too scared to do it.
Yeah.
But then when I got a wig one night and went out, I thought I ended up becoming a slightly different person, but also feeling like I could say whatever I wanted and I could try some of that comedy, and I sort of was just doing it socially, and I thought, yeah, I quite like this idea.
Yeah.
Then did nothing for like 7 years. No, not that long, maybe 5-6 years.
Right.
Bought a wig one day randomly in Blackpool,
Right.
which I thought, I quite like the look of that. Maybe I'll just buy it. And then I felt an outfit coming on, so I just went to Selfridges, bought this sparkly gold thing, and had these heels that I got from a Rocky Horror Night 10 years ago, and just went out.
Right.
And that just happened. Didn't know what I was doing with it.
Yeah.
But I've loved it ever since.
And that was. And what about? Had you done much makeup at that point? So
Oh
that
God,
was
no! Some of those photos I need to spend an afternoon just removing from social media. So get them where you can, because they look horrific.
So it's that learning curve, I suppose, everybody goes through, isn't it? So
Mine was a long learning curve.
everyone's about, and then where did Aunty Ginger come from?
So so I feel like one night when I was out, one of the wigs I had on was Ginger.
Right.
So they said, "Oh, hi Ginger, that's what we're going to call you now."
Right.
But then, because I had friends in the music world who would say I was a bit like an auntie, I was congenial to the point, or make friends, and people would start saying I was like their auntie or their mum.
Yeah.
And at some point, the two combined.
Right.
I can't remember if it was like an instantaneous thought or just something that stuck.
Right.
But people had started calling me Aunty Ginger, and I went back and forth on whether I'm going to keep that name for a while.
Yeah.
But then once, I felt like the character started to fit with it.
Yes.
So I've always been a bit older at mind. I've always been a bit paternal or maternal or whatever with friends.
So and what's interesting, you were just saying, because you're married to your husband, and because I meant
Mr. Paul.
Mr. Paul. Now he's not so keen on. He doesn't mind you doing it, but there's a very much. I said to you, "Oh, who's you dressed?" And Paul turned up. I was like, "No, he doesn't want to know." But you do have your own room.
Yeah. No, it's a good idea to have a healthy degree of separation between drag world and real world.
Right.
So I go into my room where I've got all the wigs and dresses, and as long as Paul doesn't go in, he doesn't feel stressed.
Right. Okay.
We'll walk in some days and just look at, I've got a pile of garments over there, or bras on the floor, and he'll sort of put his head in his hands and think, oh God, I want to clean all this.
Yeah.
But then he'll move something and I won't be able to find it. And he'll cause a big row and I'll be like, where's my lipstick?
Where's that? So where's this?
But it is supportive. I remember I was talking to this old drag queen who was 79 back at an event in Chester last year.
Yeah.
And he said, my wife never liked me doing this, but she never let me go out the house without a stitch out of place.
Yes.
And that sort of stuck with me.
Yeah.
Paul's very similar in that he won't. He will support me and he'll do whatever I ask him to do. And came to my event,
Yes, it was which was a great event. So, and you can sing as well.
Ish.
My lord, I think you can bang out not cellist, pianist, and I thought you can belt out a tune or two as well.
I feel like most musicians can sing in tune because maybe this is a grand sweeping generalisation. I'm sure there are some who can't, but I feel like once you know how things should be in tune, you can carry a tune.
Well, of course. Well, let's talk about, and also because I'd seen you at another gig, which was Mother's Ruin or the Mother's Bloomers.
Oh my God, that was so much fun.
And you were part of. Now, what's the trio that you?
The Three Ladies.
The Three Ladies.
We just got back together this weekend. That was really fun.
So that was because you played cello on that night. Didn't
Yeah.
You? Yes. Because I was like, this bitch can play. She plays the cello. She can sing. You could all sing. So tell us about Three Ladies and how that came about. And it's who the other.
So there's Patrick, who's called Venus Quasar. That's his drag aesthetic. Who was really the singer of the group.
He's great, Patrick. He can really sing.
Bonkers.
Right.
There's no other adjective but bonkers. But love her to bits. Can just. It just has some of the most bizarre ideas, and I absolutely love it. And really can sew her own stuff. And she takes 400 years to paint her face before she goes out. She's quite happy to arrive a few hours late, but does a good job. And then there's Mark, or Dahlia Stead. In fact, I think she's may or may not be changing that track name, but currently it's Dahlia. And Dahlia Stead is dead.
Oh, I see. Right.
Who's just hilarious.
Yeah.
Really witty and really good at writing the jokes. So we had me, who's kind of the musician, we had a singer, and we had someone who did jokes. And we just got together one afternoon.
And when was this? Like a year ago, 2 years ago?
So when was Mother's Bloomers?
That was November last year.
So I'm going to say maybe it was 5 or 6 months before that.
Okay, right.
We got in a room, talked about our influences, and said, what do we want to do?
Yeah.
And we spent loads of time talking about like Fascinating Ada and Victoria Wood and that kind of thing.
Now, for people that don't, Fascinating Ada is sort of from the 80s. It's a trio of ladies, like a comedy trio, wasn't it? And I can see them now, and they were big, weren't they? Fascinating Ada were everywhere.
I think they're still kicking about a bit, but not as much as I would love. I'd love to watch their shows.
Fascinating Ada, haven't heard that for ages. Yeah.
So we talked about them a lot. We talked about Victoria Wood and that kind of thing, and so we should write something.
Yeah.
And it took us forever. But we did write a song, and the Instagram us, which you might remember, which is a really hilarious number about the impact social media has.
That was great. That was a great track.
So and we haven't done a lot since Mother's Bloomers, but we've just been talking about what we're gonna do next. So that's quite exciting.
And so the Three Ladies is very much
we're alive.
You're still out there.
Can't keep a good bitch down.
No. It's a great. It's something a little bit different because. The drag scene's very much singular. It's the one lone performer, but here is something a bit different now with the whole scene. It is sort of erupting, and more people are doing it, and females are coming on board. Actual genetic girls are doing it. So
absolutely, I think drag's for everyone.
I think it is.
I think it's becoming more accessible and more accepted and more mainstream.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yes.
I love how diverse it is. And but of course that makes it difficult to judge. In terms of what makes good drag and what doesn't make good drag. But actually, it kind of doesn't matter to me. I think as long as it's fun.
And I think we were just talking earlier. Of the favourite queen at the moment has to be Myra Dubois.
Oh my god!
And so we are united.
Why? That's my Myra impression.
Well, I've actually got. I've just.
Have you really?
Show it. Because I actually ordered it online. There is my.
Oh, Myra, you've got the. Oh,
I've
okay.
got a Myra T-shirt as well, so it's like you have to get yourself.
What is it they say? But buy a T-shirt, feed an artist.
Yeah.
I could just watch her forever.
And she is just. I was just saying the brilliant writing that it is, the jokes. The podcast is great. So.
Oh my god! I think she's loved that.
I think it must be on the second one by now. She's done, but. It's the little quips, it's the comebacks. She's just so quick. Two admirers,
and I love that she's coined that. That's a brilliant. The admirer.
Yeah. So and you can. I've tweeted a picture. I've got the T-shirt, but she likes to. If you wear her T-shirt somewhere, and then you can tweet it. So you'll have to get yourself a T-shirt.
Oh, I feel like I can do that. Maybe she'll respond to my message.
Exactly, and then we'll get through. So, and then we would. So the night we were doing, you worked for the Albert Kennedy Trust.
I've been volunteering for them for like 5 years.
And what is the Albert Kennedy Trust? What are they about?
They are an LGBT charity based in Manchester, although they've also got a London contingent as well, and their main goal is about making sure that no one is homeless because of who they are. So they keep a lot of LGBT youths, particularly from 16 to 25, out of going homeless because maybe they've just come out as gay or bisexual or transgender.
Yeah.
And they also provide a lot of support for people with sexual health, gender identity issues, etc.
Yeah.
Really lovely people.
Yeah.
I've done some mentoring with them for a while because people helping people into jobs because of the sort of HR stuff I do, the human remains stuff I do.
Right.
I'm quite good at the helping people write a CV, interview skills.
Because you do HR as a
day job,
So yeah.
So that was sort of why I did the Albert Kennedy Trust, because I thought, actually, I can help some young people get into work, and it's great. I met some really interesting people from it.
Yeah. So that's a great cause, and this is not just based in Manchester, is it Northwest?
London as well.
London as well.
Yeah. I'm ashamed to embarrass. I'm not quite sure how far their reach is, but they've been around a while, and they do some amazing work. And I wanted to do something a bit different for them, hence organising the event. Just maybe I'll raise some cash and try to put something out there with my drag as well. Yes, yeah.
And so what is Aunty Ginger up to at the moment, where do you get your ideas for her look and her style? The look. Where would you say particularly you've got some fabulous frocks.
I have got some fabulous frocks. So I like. I'm just really inspired by lots of old dames, divas, pantomime.
Yeah.
I like stuff that's really camp. That's maybe it's regal, but it's bit trashy.
Right, okay. So who are your sort of like...
The inspirations.
Inspirations. Cool.
So I love Bette Midler.
Oh, right, okay, yeah.
Because she was camp but glamorous. And I loved that she sort of had dirty humour, but yet she had this regal nature to her. I liked Angela Lansbury, although she's an absolute sweetheart. Not necessarily that funny, but was an amazing diva to watch.
Because she's done quite a bit, Angela Lansbury.
93.
She's 93 at the moment.
Still going.
She
did Mary Poppins recently.
Ah, right. And
I was amazed. I'm sure there's some editing in there, but she still has it. She can still sing. Yeah. And
because the thing is, everybody will know her for Murder, She Wrote, which is like this, which was a sort of American series that ran for ages, and it was a bit sort of like easy watch afternoon, snooze in the chair. But she was like, if you go back to the 50s and 60s, she's been in sort of high-profile films, hasn't she? She's
been in some incredible films like Bedknobs and Broomsticks. That's the one that she's really, really famous for.
Right, okay, she was in that. Okay.
I mean, so many others. But we had. I could watch people like that forever, but I also looks like Lee Bowery. I think that whole. I'm not really a club kid, but I used to love the fact that he could turn like a.
And Lee Bowery was he in a group or he's just himself? I'm thinking of.
No, so he was like one of the original club kids.
Right.
But he would like wear a tablecloth, cover it in jewels, and make it into this fabulous outfit.
Right. Okay.
And it was just so camp.
Okay.
It was the most.
And what's a club
thing.
kid for anybody that doesn't know?
Oh, it's really funny that I would be the one to describe that because I wouldn't describe myself as one at all. But it's like an alternative underground scene kid. It's not necessarily. It's not about female impersonation, for example, which is a lot of drag. It could be that you might do something that's really conceptual or gender neutral even, or something really androgynous, or imagine lots of vibrant colours and really like impressive looks. And you might see people like I don't know if you watch Drag Race, but like Shea Coulee did this amazing club kid look where she's got this like whole body stocking on and a crown on her head and lots of jewels around her eyes.
I think
it's that sort of. That's club kid to me.
Yeah. I think that's it's not solely female impersonation, which is drag. It is, as you say,
it's like playing on gender.
Yes. But
like
also
norms.
But it's, some of them, it's like a walking Salvador Dali painting, isn't it?
Exactly.
It's just,
exactly that.
It's just whoa. This is something completely different.
Yeah, and I just love the camp nature of Lee Bowery. Absolutely. So I feel like I'll go to like Pantadame shops or like big sparkly shops like Sequin Showstoppers.
And this is because the thing with Aunty Ginger, as you say,
she's extra.
But she's maternal, as I think. As well. She's like, and she's got a good bosom to her. I like her for that. So it's like she's got a good. There's a good set going on up there, and you sing as well. Yeah. And then what about the wig? I do love your wigs.
I love wigs.
And your big ginger one you wear, which is just incredible.
I love wigs forever.
How many have you got? Would you say?
If the husband's not listening, I've got more than 12. If he's listening, I've got 2.
And does he just think it morphs into one giant?
Yeah. It's just one wig. It's just you haven't seen like the different compartments to it. I could add to that wig collection forever. I've got a few like trusted folk who I go to for wigs, like David Morrell, Tarot.
Yes,
they are.
Let's give a shout out to David because he
was
on, and he was on at your night as well. And I knew him for wigs, but I'd never seen him do it. And he was brilliant, wasn't he?
Amazing.
And he does this whole sort of Shirley Bassey show, doesn't he? And he was wonderful.
So what she does is celebrity impersonation and 30-second costume changes.
Yeah.
So she could do like 40 minutes of 10 different characters.
Yeah.
9 different characters and. Run behind the stage, dress off, new wig on, and then all of a sudden she's Carol Channing. How amazing was Carol Channing? Did you see that?
I saw the whole. It was just. I never knew he did. I'd never seen him do it.
Good. Have you ever seen his house? And this is one of the reasons why I booked him. There's just a wall of amazing pictures everywhere.
Yes.
And I loved it.
Oh, because you go up there and he's been in so many things.
So many shows.
And
that's it. So it was a great conversation starter. I was like, tell me about when you did this. And tell me when, and I was, it was like one of the first people I booked for my show. It was ace. And we're talking about doing the next one.
Right.
So the first one was Antique Drag Show, which is like the pun on the road show. The next one I want to do like a horror show.
Yeah.
Something in vintage horror show like VHS copies, that sort of idea. So I'm imagining very much like Elvira or The Munsters or Addams Family, and something that's like a bit spooky but still old school.
Yeah.
Currently thinking July, but there's some organising left to do, so more to follow.
Yeah, no, brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. So it's like, and it was a great night and a worthy cause for the Albert Kennedy. So
we raised 942 quid.
Wow, that's brilliant.
So we've got a big check picture coming, which is really exciting.
Right, okay.
And then I've got.
And so when you have to do something like that, they'll say, can Aunty Ginger come on? How long does it take you to do your makeup and get into Aunty Ginger?
So I no longer have eyebrows.
Right.
So as a result of that, I can now put a face on in about 40 minutes.
Right, okay.
And I can almost I can be from complete boy drag or boy life to complete drag with nails on and shoes on in an hour.
Yeah. That's pretty good.
Yeah, which is quite good. It used to take me like 4.
Right,
so
you've refined it down.
I've definitely refined it down. But every time I want to make a slight change to my makeup, like if I just want to try something different with my lipstick can quickly go to 3 hours.
Right, okay, because you need to I know the feeling, it's just you've got to try and... It's all about the look. It's all about getting it right. So it's like...
I'm not a makeup person. I love makeup. I love playing with makeup, but I don't consider myself to be a makeup artist.
Yes, yeah.
So actually, this prize I've got, I'm really excited about trying.
Yeah, well, I think one of the prizes you were giving out on your charity night was a free makeup makeover
from me,
from you.
Yeah.
And has that happened?
Yeah. So we've got. It's hilarious because it was like a booby prize.
Yeah.
But then 2 other people have requested it. So I've got 3 people we're going to make up.
And these are actual girls?
No, 2 guys and a girl.
Oh, right, okay.
And we're going to go to like the Albert Kennedy Trust office.
Yes.
I've got this idea of making like t-shirt dresses with the Albert Kennedy Trust
Brilliant,
tops.
yes.
I'm going to borrow them, lend them a couple of my wigs, and we'll go out and just have a gay old time.
Yeah.
It was going to be done this month, but there's been some issues with the office, so we're putting it back a few weeks. But I'm really excited about that. We've got, so Justine, someone my husband works with, is doing it, and then 2 people who work at the charity.
Oh, brilliant.
Are getting that done, so I'm really excited.
And what else, and just anything else that's happening with Aunty Ginger at the moment, or what's coming up next, and what about later in the year?
So we've got, so we'll have the Antique Drag Show Mark II, the Vintage Horror Show type idea, that's to come this year. May do another one around Christmas, and so, because I think 3 in a year feels like a good... achievement for my shows. I now have the reign as Miss Drag UK, which comes. I think I've got to do like 15 appearances.
Oh, right, okay.
So I'm talking to Miss Charity, Drag UK, so Delicious and
So
Rose.
this is interesting. So with you winning Miss Drag UK, you obviously have responsibility.
I do.
Saving the world is one.
Yeah, world peace.
World peace, that's a given.
Yeah.
So what other things have you got to? Is there stuff you got to turn up to then?
Yeah, so I've got to do 15 public appearances.
Right.
I'm not sure which ones I can talk about at the moment, but
Right.
I know that I've got some stuff at other pageants that I'm hoping to do. There's some stuff at Pride will come.
Right.
And there may be some big drag events that I'll be posting
But
at.
being an ambassador.
Yes,
for,
exactly. I feel like for Miss Drag UK, so what I really would like is that when we do it next year, we get more people trying to enter. You know, that we elevate it to the next level. We've raised loads of money. I'm still waiting for the big count, but I know we did really, really well. And you know, if we can make drag more accessible, and particularly with like the older and younger queens, one of the things I said in my interview was, how do we bridge the gap between the old and the young?
Yeah.
Or the older and the young.
Right. Okay. Yes.
You know, how do you create bridges, get them working together, learning from each other, and that kind of thing. So the stuff I want to do this year will be very much focused about that and promoting the brand of the charity.
Wonderful.
I feel like she's going to be very busy.
She is, isn't she? And how would you save the world? Or what's your answer to the
One
world
week
peace?
at a time. No, I think what for me a huge part of drag is about being easy to work with.
Yeah.
You don't need to be horrible.
Yeah.
You can just have a good time.
Yeah.
Be nice to people. And you know, when you're recognising those sort of gaps in the market, to do something good with drag.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's a antique drag show or whether it's, you know, let's do like some of the other stuff I've seen out there, like Katie's Bar do a young drag show. It's called Katie's Brunch, or the Drag Brunch for young people, where anyone of any age can go.
Yeah.
Or Fantabulosa, the Birmingham crowd, and,
Okay.
and they've got some stuff, people who aren't from Birmingham, but loads of Birmingham queens are in that, and they're making drag accessible to young people.
Yeah.
I think that's a huge part of
Yeah.
really moving the world of like drag forward and opening minds from an early age.
Yeah.
So I want to see more stuff like that.
Wonderful. And then one last question I have, which I didn't prep you on.
Okay.
And now, whether I do this for another series of Funny Peculiar, I'm not sure at the moment, but I always ask, because this could be a great way of finding more interviews, is who would you recommend I interview for a future episode or something for Funny Peculiar? Who do you think would be a...
Oh my gosh. Like... there are loads of people. I would certainly go to anyone we booked for Antique Drag Show. You know, if you could have an hour of Miss Darby, just to let her tell you one of her 1,000 stories that she's got of the things she's learned.
Yeah.
I almost have this idea. I love this. Like it'd be like loose queens,
Right.
You know, like instead of loose women. Like
Nice.
we get some of the older
Yes.
queens on.
And just get them speaking. And they do have stories to tell, incredible stories.
We could take a subject, like, I don't know, you know, how do you do drag with no money? Or, you know, what do you do if you've not got the skills to style a wig? Where would you start?
Yeah.
Like, we could take a subject and then say, you know, when I was a young warthog, this is what I did. You know, I think that would be ace. I think that would be a good place to
Okay,
start.
well, Miss Darby. Let me see if I can get hold of Miss Darby, because she sounds great. So
I think you'd have to go to her.
yes, is she in Scotland?
No.
Oh right,
Miss Darby, David Morrell.
Oh, it's Miss David Morrell. Right, okay.
Yeah,
That's because you had loads of Scottish drag
We
queens.
did have a
down,
lot of
which
Scotland.
was brilliant.
It was well
But
represented.
there's something about just hearing a deep Scots voice, putting a bra on, wasn't there? Getting into a chorus, but it was wonderful.
Yaddy. I sound more like a pirate when I do it, but there was some great. But we had Aunty, we had the other Aunty Effie.
Give us a shout out to some of the Scottish queens, because they came all that way.
I know.
For I can't remember their names. Though.
Alana Duvet.
That's it.
So Alana, she's like one of the best lip syncers I've ever met. Really, it's the only part of her that's still tight.
Right.
But Alana Duvet is like the tightest lip syncer
right.
ever. We have Miss McMarylin, and she likes to be called Miss McMarylin to remind people she's still single.
Right, okay.
We had Diana Monty, and Miss McMarylin and Diana Monty did the Mother Dearest.
Oh,
thing.
right, yes, that was good.
So that was great. So that sort of Joan Crawford wire hangers moment. And then, but they also did some separate stuff too.
Brilliant.
So they were really cool. And then we had Auntie Effie, the other auntie, the one that spells it wrong.
Right.
We've now got this shtick between us where it's like, she's more common, so she uses the more common spelling.
Oh, right. Okay.
And I'm not popular, so I use the unpopular spelling. Auntie with a Y.
That's brilliant. Oh, there were so many great queens that night. So.
Yeah, and I want to keep doing it with people from all over the UK.
Yeah. And organised by yourself, which takes a lot of organising.
It did.
And that was how long did that take to sort?
I feel like it was, the whole process was like 2 or 3 months, but there was a lot more moving parts to it than I appreciated. Not even like the set list, it's even things like, how do you get the concept right, how do you get the social media right, pushing ticket sales. You all did a great job, and you did a great job, Dom. People loved what you did.
Oh, well.
You sold the tickets for us, and people still talk about how funny you were.
So, that's very sweet. And it's a pleasure to do it. And so it was a great night. So it's like, and
you had a cold, and you still did it.
There you go. We trooped on. I think I remember as well helping you change in that very small toilet,
my God,
trying to get you out of the dress and get the boots off to get you into another. But I know because I've been there 1,000 times when you do characters, and it's like often it is just a toilet, and then people coming in, it's like, look, I've got to get into this.
You did it. You were my lifesaver. There were moments where I thought people aren't standing in the right. What I will definitely do next time is I'm going to have an events coordinator who's just going to make sure that people are where they're supposed to be when they're supposed to be there. Not that anyone disappeared or anything like that, but it's just thinking that I don't have to do.
Yes.
But it was ace. I'll do it all again.
Yeah. Oh, it was great.
We'll do it all
It was a wonderful night. It's wonderful. Listen, thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you.
And appreciate you popping round to the studio.
Yes.
You can see the HQ now. I've not hoovered.
Donna Towers.
So exactly, Donna Towers is here. So it was great to have you on, and we'll get all your social media.
Yeah.
We'll all go onto iTunes. And so, Aunty Ginger, thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
You've been listening to Funny Peculiar. Tune in next week. More great guests.